Before we start tonight, I'd just like to acknowledge that I'm currently in Kurnu, which is the traditional name of Barwon Heads, and I'm on the lands of the Wadawurrung Barwon people of the Badu clan of the Wattung people. I pay my respects to their elders, past and present, and I acknowledge that Aboriginal sovereignty over First Nations land was never ceded, and that Australia always was and always will be Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander land. And I would like to welcome tonight Aunty Georgina Nicholson, who's a Wurundjeri elder who has shared her time tonight to do a welcome to country. So thank you, Aunty Georgina. I'll hand over to you.
Thank you, Julia. Hello, everyone. My name is Georgina Nicholson, and I am a proud Wurundjeri Woi-wurrung woman. Wurundjeri being part of the Kulin Nation. The Kulin Nation consists of 5 clans, and they are Wurundjeri, Boonwurrung, Wathaurong, Tanarong, and Dja Dja Wurrung. Wurundjeri being all of Melbourne CBD and surrounding country, extending north to the Great Dividing Range, east to Mount Baw Baw, south to Mordialloc Creek, and west to the mouth of Werribee River. So I would like to acknowledge and pay my respect to our ancestors who walked and lived on this land as free spirits for millennia. I would also like to acknowledge all Aboriginal people and Torres Strait Islander people who are online with us this evening. And I would like to acknowledge all the traditional lands that you're all coming in, meeting from. And I'd like to pay my respect to all the traditional owners and to all Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander peoples, yeah. I would also like to just say that I'm pleased to be doing the Welcome to Country for Liberty Victoria this evening. It's great that you're having this online. Better than nothing, isn't it? So it's for the Voltaire Human Rights Awards. So that sounds pretty exciting. It sounds like people have been very busy doing lots of work. So congratulations to the recipients. I'd also like to acknowledge the President of Liberty Victoria, Julia Kretzenberger. I hope I said that right. I've been practicing. And any other executives that might be online with us this evening. I acknowledge you also. For those of you tuning in from Wurundjeri country, I would like to say to you, Womanjika Wurundjeri Balak, Yemen Kundibik. So I would just like to tell you what I've said in our Woi-wurrung language, and that is welcome to the land of the Wurundjeri people. So for the people that are tuning in from lands across Australia and maybe someone from Papua New Guinea, I believe, welcome. Gee, Papua New Guinea, that's a long way. So welcome, and I would like to acknowledge all the lands that you're on this evening and pay my respect to all Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander people and to the traditional owners on the lands on which you're listening from. As we navigate our way through this COVID-19 pandemic, I reflect on the legacy of those who have come before me. I reflect on the long, unbroken, strong line of Aboriginal women and men that I come from, and I do draw strength from them. I think about the challenges they must have faced and still do now. But, you know, talking about our ancestors, the challenges they face is just, just unbelievable. My mother, Martha Margaret Nicholson, nee Terrick, was delivered by her grandmother, Granny Jemima, and that was on Corrandirk Aboriginal Mission near the present-day town of Healesville. So Granny Jemima was already teaching our mother the importance of caring for one another, of caring for country and being on country. And yeah, I think that's pretty amazing. When I share this story with you, I think you will be amazed by it also. Sorry, I've just got a couple of notes here that I'm making sure that I'm not going to forget anything. So, you know, the importance of family and culture and connection to country and caring for one another, that's, you know, important stuff. So years later, our mother met a deadly Irish man called Patrick, and they met on a blind date in Melbourne in the early 1930s. In 1937, Mummy and Daddy were married, and back then it was in a registry office, and they had 16 children, 8 girls, 8 boys, all single babies, no twins and no cheating, LOL. The oldest in my family is Aunty Pat Ockwell, and I'm the youngest. So Sister Pat is an amazing senior elder who has made a lifelong commitment to her people, to her community. For she turned 83 last year, and for an Aboriginal woman to reach that age is a real milestone. For they say Aboriginal people don't live as long as other cultures. There's about a 12 to 15-year gap there, and that's a huge gap for our people, and we do have too much sorry business in our Aboriginal families and communities. So, you know, we must carry on the culture for our people as my ancestors did, and as my mother and her mother and her mother and so on have done for us. I can sit here tonight and do the Welcome to Country for being a Wurundjeri elder because of my mother. She gave me the birthright and she gave me the honour to do this. And I feel I don't have my parents around anymore. They're both passed away, and there's only 8 of us kids alive. So we've been through a lot, you know. I don't know if you've heard of William Barrack. Perhaps you have, but his sister Annie Barrack, they're my direct bloodline. So one tradition being our Wurrung language. It's part of our rich, deep heritage. And I like to say that our language has been sleeping and now we're waking it up, because we have to learn our language again, because, you know, back in the day, we weren't allowed to speak our language and practice culture. So that was stripped from us also. So we're learning our language. I think language is very important to know, you know, how to speak it and what the meanings are. So doing that at the moment and keeping us very busy. So some of the ways we do keep the culture alive is through song and dance and performances. So the coronavirus pandemic has changed the world in ways we would never have imagined, and the implications for our community have been profound for our health, our well-being and our jobs. But in many ways, this event online this evening has brought into focus the importance of relationships with family and connecting with one another as a community. I think we really do crave and need connection as people. It has been a very mentally challenging time and quite a lonely time for me also, because I live on my own, although I've got my son living with me at the moment, and I keep looking at the door thinking he's going to walk in any minute. But yeah, but I've been on my own most of the COVID lockdown stuff, because I think Victoria has been hit pretty hard over, you know, lockdown over a year all up sort of thing. So we've just come out of the 5th lockdown with restrictions still, but, you know, I believe if we all follow our leader, we'll get there. For people from other countries, I know yous are doing it hard, and I know there's been lots of deaths everywhere. So my heart goes out to all you people, but try to just do the right thing so everyone can come out of these lockdowns. It's just horrible. Never experienced anything like this before. I don't think it'll ever be the same again. Aboriginal culture is the oldest living, continuing culture there is. It dates back to 80,000 years plus. It is an ancient history. Aboriginal people, we do know about resilience and solidarity, and connection to land is very important. So I believe we are the sovereign owners of Australia, and there have been no treaties with us up to date. So we do have First Peoples Assemblies happening in Victoria now, so that's kicking off slowly, but it'll get there. So that's a good thing. So we have never ceded our sovereignty either. So that's another traumatised thing we have to deal with. So please respect. Wurundjeri people would like to ask you to respect the land, the waters, the flora and the fauna, because it's all important, and respect each other. And let's, you know, walk together forward and make the world a better place. So thank you very much for having me. Please take care and stay safe. And I must say, with the Olympics, go the Aussies. They're doing so well. It's a great time to have the awards night too. So thank you.
Thank you so much, Aunty Georgina. It's a real honour to have you do the Welcome to Country. And you mentioned your connection to both Corranderk and William Barak. And when we talk about human rights advocates and people that fight and have fought for the liberties, Corranderk and William Barak were, well, the people of Corranderk, but also William Barak himself, they were really one of the most prominent human rights advocates earlier last century. And for everyone who's in attendance tonight, I encourage you all to read up on William Barak and Corranderk, because the history and the struggle of those people is absolutely amazing, and they changed a lot for people in very difficult circumstances. Yes, so thank you so much, Aunty Georgina, for that Welcome to Country.